Testing. We are testing right now. This is exciting. You know, I record this on GarageBand, and it's kind of ironic how I use GarageBand, which is a music making app, but I use it for making podcasts, and I have a microphone too. So theoretically, actually, technically, whichever word you want to use, I could rap, I could sing at any given time, and it would look right. It would be the right use for this microphone that I'm using. It would be the right use for this, for GarageBand. But no, it's just podcasting. Yep. I'm a real utilitarian. Again, whichever word you want to use. I don't even know what utilitarian means. I don't even know if that's a real word. Let's just start the show. Hey, it's Albert Orange, and welcome to Before the Bell, the podcast in which I ramble and rant, and I'm gonna be doing lots of ranting today. Actually, maybe like, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes worth of ranting today. I really should have prepared a list of things to talk about on this podcast, but I never do. And so, yeah. But you know what? Yeah, I have two things to rant about today. This is the 7th episode of the podcast. This is the 7th installment. You know, you gotta use big words every once in a while. And the 4th episode of the so-called new era. I call it the new era because the first 3 episodes, I think I took myself a bit too seriously. And, you know, it just didn't match what I saw myself as for this podcast. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, lots of things to talk about today. So, a few minutes ago, I should explain what happened. I was actually pretty fucking pissed. Alright? So let me just explain what happened. I have just killed 2 flies, alright, that were buzzing around in my garage, alright, which is where I'm recording this right now. And they were buzzing around. It was 2 of them. It was actually 3 of them, but I opened the door and one of them flew away, so that left me with 2. And so, you know, I had a choice to make. I could either start recording this podcast with a bunch of flies buzzing around, you know, distracting me, and therefore making me cranky, you know? Or I could just kill them. I could just rob them of their lives and, you know, peace and quiet, right? And so I went for option 2, okay? Now, I'm not trying to sound cruel. I'm just saying I fucking murdered those flies, okay? And you know what? They had it coming. They had it coming. I'm not trying to be edgy, okay? But you know what? There's so many flies in this world, okay? They can breed and reproduce all they want, whenever they want, okay? They're not going anywhere. They're not an endangered species. It would make sense for anyone to be angry if, like, I killed a lion, like that one dentist, you know? But it's just a bunch of fucking flies that, and they're gross, and they serve no use to the ecosystem, except for maybe, you know, they do provide food for spiders, right? But you know what? Fucking spiders. Eat a fucking chip, okay? Eat something off of a fucking kitchen countertop, spiders, alright? Just fucking do something. Do something new. Right, spiders? You don't need all those flies in your fucking webs. But anyways, so, you know, it's pretty hard to murder flies when you don't have a fly swatter. So I literally just used one of my Nike sandals. And this is a strategy that I've been using for a while now, which is instead of waiting for them to land on a surface and then you hitting them with a swatter or sandal, in my case, whatever you're using, instead of waiting for all that, you just fucking you just fucking wave your hand and fucking, you know, swat the air while the fly is flying around, and just hope that your sandal or fly swatter meets the fly mid-air. You knock the fly, and it's like a fucking World War II airplane, you know? When it gets shot down, you go, Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. I'm going down, oh no. Right? So it's like that. You know, you just fucking swat the fly while it's buzzing around midair. And, you know, it takes a few tries to do that successfully. But oh my god, it is so satisfying when you do it. And this fucking fly was fucking huge, alright? I mean, it was like, I don't know how long it was, but it was a fat fuck of a fly, you know? And so it made a fucking noise when I swatted it out of midair, you know? It was like, you know? Like a nice fucking, right? And so, yeah, it made that sound. And right there, I fucking knew that it took me 2 tries. 2 successful, it took me 2 hits for me to fucking knock the fly and kill it. You know? The first attempt, I knocked it mid-air, this fucking fly, and it was on the ground, and I thought I got him. You know? I thought I knocked him unconscious, and then now I could finally fucking pick it up with a fucking Kleenex and just throw it in the trash. But no, this fucker, after being knocked out by my Nike sandal, got up and just started fucking buzzing around again. Like nothing happened to it. And so I'm like, this motherfucker. I mean, it literally cheated death. You know? And so I'm like, this fucking son of a bitch. And so I get my sandal again. And, you know, went at it a couple more times. And, you know, I finally got it the second time. This fucker fell down to the ground. Mayday, mayday, mayday. You know? And, it just, you know, didn't get up, didn't start moving around or anything. It was just like fucking, it was just there, just fucking trying to flap its wings, you know? and then I just picked it up with a fucking Kleenex, and I just put it in the trash. And that was that, you know? I really hope no one gets angry over that because, come on, it's a fucking fly. But anyways, what do you want me to do? You know? You want me to just fucking... to let them live? I've got a life too, you know? I've got a podcast to fucking record. And, you know? I can't be having distractions. And so the one that I hit midair, that was the second fly. The first fly, I literally just... It was like a slow fly, you know? It wasn't fast at all. It landed on the surface of my wall, and I just fucking, you know, hit it and quit it. No, I'm just kidding. I just hit it with my sandal, and it just, you know, didn't even fly away. It just fucking, you know, just saw my sandal and just fucking decided, oh, well, I had a good run, you know? So, yeah, I got rid of those fuckers that were making me mad. And, yeah. So, I said that I had another thing to talk about, to rant about. So, I said that I had another thing to rant about today. I'll make this quick because I'm already 15 minutes in. Jesus. Yeah, so I just saw this really great TED Talk a few minutes ago. And it was by this guy. His name was James Brittle. I think that was his name. But he was talking about like children's YouTube. He was talking about these videos on YouTube that are for kids. You know, it's technically for kids, but he was saying that these videos, and he's talking about these fucking unboxing videos, these fucking, I don't know if you've heard of them, these fucking surprise eggs. You know, surprise egg fucking things where it's like some dude is just like taking a bunch of like toy eggs and unwrapping them, and like inside it would be like a fucking you know, toy or something, you know. And so yeah, it was just about that. And this dude was like, you know, these videos are like crack cocaine for kids. And because every time a kid watches one of these surprise egg videos, you know, unboxing videos, whatever, they get a dopamine rush from it. You know? To us grown humans, we don't understand it. But for the kids, I mean, they are impressionable, right? And they want to know what's inside of these eggs, right? I'm saying eggs a lot. And so yeah, it you know, it creates dopamine in their brains, and you know, they just keep watching one after the other. And this dude James Brittle, he's talking about the autoplay feature on YouTube, which is where like you finish one video, and after it's done, then the website will just generate another video for you, so you basically don't ever have to move, right? And so that, combined with the YouTube algorithm, can lead to some obscure fucking videos, right? You know, he's like, you know, what can start off as an innocent surprise egg video can lead a child to watching a fucking video of Mickey Mouse masturbating you know? And you know, this whole time when I'm watching this TED Talk, I'm like, yeah, this fucking website, YouTube is a wonderful place. It's also hell. Because if there's videos of Mickey Mouse masturbating, you know, and there's also videos of like Spider-Man getting run over by a motorcycle and whatnot. Just this really dark, obscure side of YouTube. And it's marketed for children. I'm just, the whole time I'm watching and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not letting my kids watch this fucking garbage, you know? I don't even have kids, alright? And I know to never let them near a fucking iPad, you know? And anyone who does that, right? Because the whole reason these videos are so popular, it's not just because they're addicting. It's because these parents, they are so lenient. And Bill Burr said it best, right? This comedian, Bill Burr, he's like, you know, parents are trying to be their kids' best friends. You know, they're not being parents. And that is so true. Because, you know, parents want their kids to be happy, which is not a bad thing necessarily. But, you know, you gotta lay down the law a little bit, right? You gotta be like, all right, no more iPad for like a week or ever, you know? I mean, you can't let your kid go down the rabbit hole, right? Just for the sake of, you know, having them be quiet, you know? Which is stupid. I mean, kids are supposed to make noise, whether you like it or not, right? Just don't put them in movie theaters or fucking airplanes, you know? Yeah, no. Like this whole video, this whole TED Talk just reaffirmed my beliefs in just never getting my kid an iPad, you know? Never letting them near one. Just any kind of technology? No. Absolutely not. You're going to the supermarket, and instead of walking around on an iPad playing Minecraft, you're gonna look at the spilled chicken nuggets on the floor. You're gonna look at it, you're gonna smell it, and you're gonna keep walking. All right? And you're gonna look at the employees at Walmart, and you're gonna look at how miserable they are, because that's life, right? And you're gonna keep walking, and you're gonna look at all the fucking disgusting floors, and you're gonna walk into the bathroom, and you're gonna smell the fucking stench, you know? And that's just how it's gonna be. Because real life isn't Minecraft. It's not surprise egg toys. It's not Ryan's unboxing videos. Alright? Real life is going into the checkout line and waiting 10 fucking minutes at checkout because some lady is fucking chatting it up with a fucking cashier, you know? Not even in like a, not even necessarily in a fucking casual, oh, how are you? Busy day today, you know? Maybe the lady's like, yeah, I don't want any of these, so. Oh, you're saying my card got declined? I'll just try it again. Oh, got declined again, huh? Let me just try it again. I got money in there, like, that's so weird. Let me just try it again. Oh, got declined. Why is it not going through? Let me just try it again. Oh, got declined. You know, that whole charade, that whole shenanigan. 10 minutes of that. You gotta sit through it, and you gotta wait. No dopamine. No fucking Spider-Man, fucking, what's her name? Ella from Frozen. Is that her name? Princess Ilana? What's her fucking name? Anna? No, that's the other one. What's her fucking name? It's the one with the blue dress. Elsa. Yeah, Elsa. No more of that. Not here at Walmart. And then when we get home, guess what? You're gonna sit there, you're gonna play with Legos, and if you choke on them, that's it. You had a good run, and I'll replace you. You know? And that's my parenting style. That I wish to employ when I'm when I'm old enough. Because right now I'm young, you know. I'm 19, but already, I mean, I feel like I'm ready to raise a kid, to be honest. You know? I mean, right now is not the best time to do it, but I could do it. How hard it gonna be, you know? Famous last words that he said. But anyways, yeah, it's a great TED Talk that I wanted to share. Just look it up. Just look up TED Talks YouTube, and you'll see a guy named James Brittle. You know, he's like a kid with glasses and like pink shirt. He explained what he did for a living, but I didn't really quite understand because, you know, he said he was like, oh, I developed my own self-driving car and I predict the outcomes of elections by looking at the weather, which, how the hell does that work? I don't know. But anyways, yeah, great TED Talk. Man, TED Talks are really, really wonderfully, yeah. It's a good side of YouTube, alright? It's pretty much the opposite of fucking, oh my god, hold on. Ugh. Wait a second. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. What the hell? Ugh. Okay. Folks listening to this podcast, I have no idea how this happened. But apparently we're going back on the fly subject again. A dead fly just fell out of nowhere. Alright? It just fell on the ground. I felt it brush my knee. I don't know if it was on me. You know? I don't normally get that many flies just on me, but it fell down. It brushed my knee. And it just fell down on the ground, not moving. That's so weird. What? Anyways. God, that was gross. And we're back after all of this. As I said, this is the 7th episode of the Before the Bell podcast. I'm thinking of changing the name of the podcast just because there's like 4 other podcasts that are named Before the Bell also. And so, yeah. So yeah, I've been trying to think of a few names to, replace the current one. So far, none have really resonated with me. Before the Bell, I named it like that because, first of all, it sounded nice, Before the Bell, BTB. I like the initials. I named it that because, I wanted a podcast where I could talk about my week, just like I would with my friends back in high school, in the mornings right before classes, we would just all hang out, meet up, and just talk about what's going on and our weekends and stuff like that. And we would all do that before the bell rang, So really, this podcast is supposed to be like before the bell rings, and that's why I got the bell ringing sound effect at the end of the podcast, right after the outro music, because I've literally just talked about my week, how I've been doing, all that before the bell rings, before the work begins, before you have to, go to work or, do something important. You can start off your week right with my podcast, And so, that's why I named it Before the Bell. But, apparently, Before the Bell has other meanings as well. I believe there's Before the Bell with Dave Caruso. Let me just look it up because I want to know what this Dave Caruso guy does, So let's just look it up. Before the Bell. Look at that. The first suggestion that came up was Before the Bell with Dave Caruso. Okay? Let's see what he does. All right? Okay, so he's a WBZ News Radio financial editor. So it's about the stock market, I guess. Sounds interesting. Sounds cool. Let's see. Oh, hasn't made an episode since March 6th, 2019. Huh. And all of these episodes are 1 to 2 minutes long, which is, interesting. Wow. Okay, so I literally just knocked out the competition before I even started my own podcast. So, good one for me. Hold on. Does this Dave Caruso do anything else? Let's see. Dave Caruso. Dave Caruso. Let's see. Okay, so there's multiple Dave Carusos. Dave Caruso, WBZ. Is he active in anything? Doesn't look like. I don't know. The point is, he's not making any new podcasts. for his Before the Bell podcast. So, it's a good one for me. There's two other ones. We got Before the Bell, hosted by Terrence Ward. Let's see. This is a pro wrestling podcast. This pro wrestling podcast will talk about upcoming shows near you, featuring promoters, performers, and more. Okay, cool. And looks like it's based on Anchor, okay, which is a sponsor of this podcast. Anchor. If you don't use it, you're not getting the best podcast treatment. All right. So if you want the best of the best, Anchor is your place to rest peacefully, knowing that you'll have a good platform to base your podcast on. Because when you want the best in podcast producing, editing, recording, use Anchor. They'll anchor you into security. I'm cutting that out. Anyways, Before the Bell with Terrence Ward. Okay, looks like he's active, which is not good. But guess what? He makes his podcast episodes 20 to 50 minutes long, which is pretty much what I do. Let's see what else. There's Before the Bell with, who was it? That guy Kez. Okay, it's also about boxing. And but look at that. Hasn't made an episode since 2019. So again, they all sensed that I was gonna come along, and they were like, "Oh my God, this Albert Orange, he's just too big for us. He's too good for us. We should just get out while we can." And the only one who's like, "No, I'm gonna keep going," is this dude, Terrence Ward. Look at that. He's even got his own label, T Ward Media. I've got my own label too. You know what it is? It's Alpha. All right? Alpha is my label. Supreme Conqueror is another label you could give me. Fly Killer, TED Talk Extraordinaire. I could go all day long with these labels, right? But anyways, I'm sure Terrence Howard is a good guy. Let's see what I've got up against this guy. He's only been making episodes since March. Interesting. Okay, fine. You know what? We'll see who'll prevail. Terrence Howard. Because, I've been making this podcast since, I don't know, December of last year. So, since all the other Before the Bells have died out, I've simply reclaimed the title for my podcast. I don't want to talk trash about you, Terrence Howard. That's your right. That's your name, right? Terrence Howard. Yeah. I don't want to talk trash about you, but I've got my own podcast, and I think it's gonna outlive yours. So, I mean, how big is boxing anyways, huh? Is it even blowing up right now? It actually is because of Jake Paul and, that lot. But, how long will that last? Probably a long while because, you know. But anyways, no, Terrence Howard, you're a good guy. I never even listened to your podcast. But I'm sure you're a good guy. And so yeah, we'll see who sues who first. All right. That being said, I'm still probably gonna change the name of the podcast just because. But anyways, I haven't watched Apple TV Plus for a long while, actually. My subscription has been renewed since like the beginning of this month, and I haven't watched a single minute of it since. It's kind of sad because I have nothing to talk about relating to Apple Podcast right now. So, it's just I don't have the time to watch anything anymore, But that's okay, Ted Lasso will be releasing in a few weeks from now, so pretty excited about that. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming out on Apple TV Plus, so still be watching that, and I'll probably have to resume my Disney Plus subscription just to watch the Bad Batch. I've seen a few pictures of the newer episodes. Apparently Cad Bane and Hera Syndulla make an appearance. So, yeah. I'm pretty excited to see all that. And see how it's going. I haven't seen... I think the last Bad Batch episode that I've watched was episode 5. And then that's when my Disney Plus subscription ran out. I don't like paying for 2 streaming services at once. I like to space them out throughout the year. Disney Plus 1 month, Apple TV Plus the next. So that way I don't have to, pay more than I need to. I'm probably gonna switch over to Netflix at some point. Just because I haven't watched Netflix in a long time. Really long time. Probably gonna do that like this August. Maybe. So, and I know there's people listening to this podcast, alright? So, if you've seen anything good on Netflix lately, please let me know. Reach out to me on Twitter, on Anchor Podcasts. You can leave a voicemail for me if you'd like. You can also leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Just go to the Apple Podcast page for Before the Bell for my podcast. Just search it up and you'll see my podcast. It's Before the Bell with Albert Orange. Not with Terrence Howard or Dave Caruso or the guy Kez. No, it's the one that says Albert Orange. Alright? Just click on that one, scroll down, leave a 5-star rating, or whichever one you prefer. I don't care. You can leave one for 1 star. Just leave a review and just, say, hey, horrible podcast, here's some Netflix recommendations. And I'll be fine with that, okay? So, yeah. You know what? I think I'll end the podcast there. I'd say it was a good episode. Not the best, but probably not the worst. I don't know yet. So yeah, I think I'll be sticking to a bi-weekly schedule, or like a semi-monthly, just releasing a new podcast, a new episode every 2 weeks, probably. Every 2 weeks sounds good for me, just because I'm doing school and been pretty busy with that, so I think once I'm done with school for this summer quarter anyways, which isn't even that long from now. I'll be done with a quarter for until I think the 17th of August. So yeah, it's gonna be a really short quarter, but very packly dense, just because it's the same amount of curriculum to cover for each class that I'm taking. It's only 2 classes, but still, you have to pack all that into a shorter amount of time. So, but I'll still be releasing these episodes every 2 weeks until then. And yeah, so I'll try my best. As I said, I want to be productive. I want to be good enough for this podcast. I know that I'm good enough, and I'll try to stay consistent and whatnot. Anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed my state of the podcast speech. Oh, I should do that. Yeah, I should do that sometime. Oh yeah. Yeah, when Biden makes his first State of the Union, I'll release a special State of the Podcast. Oh, that'll be fitting because I've by that time it will already be the 1 year anniversary since the start of this podcast. So even though I haven't made that many episodes yet, but by then I will have made at least, I think, like at least 15, maybe 20, if not more. So I'll do a little state of the podcast then. But until then, I will be releasing every 2 weeks, every week when I'm not in school. And so yeah, hopefully I will be consistent to that and true to that. And with that, that's the end of this episode of Before the Bell. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you are thinking of giving an iPad to your kids, think again, because I will be watching you. I'll be looking out for you. And you will be apprehended and tried in international court. That's not gonna happen. I'm not strong enough to arrest a full-grown adult. Anyways, thank you for listening, and see you next week.